Hey everybody, I just want to welcome you all to week 5. Uh, Hard to believe we're already in week 5, but here we are. There's 4 things that I want to talk to you guys about. The first being discussions, and then I kind of want to just mention the quizzes, also kind of look at the schedule, and then also remind you about the program survey as well. So last week, you guys, I encouraged you to not start as many threads within the topics, and you guys did a really good job of that, and I appreciate that. We ended up with 3 and 1. So let's try to aim for that again, and this week there's 3 topics that I've given you. So again, let's try to limit it to just 1 or 2 threads within each topic, and within those threads, post really anything you feel you need to post that's related to that topic. So you don't necessarily always have to make an initial post. You can start by just replying to somebody else, but you can also within those threads make kind of an initial post with your initial thoughts and all of that. So don't feel like you're forced to just respond to peers or just post initial thoughts. You can do both still within those threads that are already started. And then next on that, I want to make a suggestion in terms of what's looked for both by myself and within the rubric that is provided for you guys under the content for these. The big thing that I have noticed not being there is reference to the textbook. And so this can look different depending on what you're posting. So if you're posting something where you're talking mostly about the textbook, you definitely need to provide a clear citation with a page number from our textbook. And then the other way to do that is obviously I think it's important for us to share personal experiences, especially related to a lot of the topics we'll talk about, kind of what you've seen or what you've experienced personally. And that's great, but it also still needs to be grounded within like the theory and within what the textbook is talking about. So if you're posting a post that is including kind of a personal reference or a personal story, make sure that you're at least using terms or referencing back to the chapter we've read or previous chapters if it was from something in a different chapter. So just always make sure you're putting something in from the textbook in pretty much every post. And sometimes it's even okay, let's say if somebody makes a post and you're like, oh, I'm going to respond to their post, and they've referenced the textbook, that's fine to just take what they've referenced and re-quote it within your post if you're going to use kind of their post as a reference for your post. That's fine too. So that would be my big suggestion this week. Just make sure you're referencing the textbook in some way in your posts, in the majority of your posts, I would say. So that's my big suggestion for that. So I would encourage you guys to make sure that's something you are doing in your posts. And then in terms of the quizzes, I haven't noticed really any problems. Everybody seems to be doing pretty well on that. So I just encourage you guys on those. If you have any questions or concerns, please email me about those. Because I can see that you're taking them and I can see your score and I can see questions that maybe people have had more of an issue with than others. But I can't necessarily see what that looks like on your end. So if you guys have any issues or any concerns on that, let me know. And then regarding the schedule, just make sure you're keeping this handy and keeping a close eye on things that are upcoming. So for us, obviously, we've passed the due date for the paper topic, which is graded at this point. So if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. I did leave feedback on some of them in terms of narrowing the topic or just some certain questions I had in terms of how you were defining terms you used and describing what your topic was. So encourage you to take a look at that. And then in terms of things that are upcoming, you have the peer-reviewed articles coming up. So that's October 5th. And then the week after that will be your midterm exam, which will be online. And you'll have till the 12th of that week to do it. But I'll go more into depth on both of those as we get closer. But I do encourage you to kind of start looking at the article summary assignment because it's October 5th will come quicker than you think. So go ahead and start thinking about those two things. And obviously, with each week, I will discuss whichever one's coming closer, more in depth. But I do encourage you to especially start working on the peer-reviewed articles. And then the last thing for this post that I want to talk to you guys about is the program survey assignment. So you obviously should have received an email, multiple emails regarding that. If you haven't received an email regarding that, let me know. And if you have, I encourage you to go ahead and get that assignment completed as soon as possible. I do believe it will be open until Friday around noon. So you still have a couple of days if you haven't finished it, but don't let that time pass because there will be this one and then there'll be one later for a total of 15 points, I believe, in this course. So it's fairly easy points in that sense. It is a completion grade. So as long as you do it, you get the points. So you do have a couple more days to do that if you haven't. And if you haven't seen an email about it, let me know. So that's all I've got for this post. If you guys have any other questions or thoughts, please email me.